Super. Let's start in child pose for a nice change. So sitting back on the heels, let's extend the arms out in front. So we'll make an extended child pose, resting the forehead on the floor or near the floor, see where it comes to. And let's just take a moment to arrive on the mat. Sometimes it's very tempting just to launch straight into movement, but actually give yourself time to allow weight to transfer into the floor. So once we're a bit more still in the body and mind, we can just check in how it feels to be in your body right now. So are there any areas that are a little bit stiff where maybe we could do with stretching a little bit or being a little bit more gentle? So a little body scan, mind's eye, just walking around the body, just checking in on all the joints. And sometimes just by breathing mindfully and being a little bit more present, we can release a bit of tension in the body. So let's start from there. We're going to take a side twist, and it'll be easier if you mirror me. So if everyone walks, keeps your head low, and walks your hands over to the right. And let's just pause where you get a nice stretch down this left side of the body. And we can increase this stretch by pressing down through that left hand and slightly away from you. So you're pushing away to deepen the side stretch, but also the right hand on the floor, you can press down and towards your body so that the oblique muscles, your side muscles on that right hand side will engage. So think about right hand down and in, left hand overhead and pushing away just to facilitate that stretch. Head nice and heavy, one more breath on this side, and then let's place the hands across to the other side. So it's your right hand overhead, start to feel that stretch down the right side of the body, and then make it a facilitated stretch by bending that left elbow a little bit, left hand into the floor, and slightly dragging in towards your waist so the left obliques engage. So as a kind of push-pull in towards the body with the left hand, away with the right hand. Just see how that increases or changes the sensations of the sides of the body. So we're just gaining a little bit of space between the vertebrae along the side. And then let's come center. We'll come up to all fours, we'll take a cat-cow. So straight away, breathing in to look up. And then breathing out, chin to chest, round the back, top the bottom, under. We'll have one more round there, and then we'll be getting a little bit more energetic. Breathe in and look up. And breathing out, arching cat, round the back, separating the shoulder blades. We're going to come to a neutral spine and extend one leg, it doesn't matter which, plant the ball of the foot and drive some energy back into the heels so we get a calf stretch. For any of the next movements, we can come down onto the forearms if it becomes too much in the wrists. Now, keeping that extended leg engaged, the thigh, the glutes engaged, let's float the leg up. So now the ankle's in line with the hip. I'm still tucking the bottom under, engaging the core, so pubic bone's curled up towards the ribs. The hand that's on the floor, the corresponding hand, let's keep that clawing into the fingertips, shoulders down away from the ears. If you're stable here, we'll extend the opposite arm. Let's have the thumb up to the ceiling. Now, the arm with the hand on the floor, let's keep the shoulder over the wrist. The leg that's extended, feel as though the heel is driving into the wall behind you. At the same time, we're engaging the front of the body, almost feeling the hip points being drawn together by those lower abdominals. We're going to take an elbow to knee, but again, we can come down to the forearms. Let's breathe in that extended position. We breathe out, leading with the core muscles. Pulling in your core muscles and draw elbow and knee together. Stay there until the lungs are empty, and then re-extend. Deep breath in the extended position. Breathing out, leading with the core, drawing knee in towards the chest, elbow in towards the knee. Two more. Deep breath in. See if you can keep that engagement in the whole chain, from the front fingertips to the heel at the back. Shoulders down to neck long. Constant pulling in the core muscles, so we're using as many muscles in the body as possible. We've got one more on this side and then we'll switch sides. Breathing out, slow movement. It's very easy to do this quickly, much slower to find that stillness, the balance. And let's place the hand on the floor. Extend the other leg, plant the ball of the foot and drive a bit of energy back so we get a nice calf stretch. Using this time now to tuck the bottom under, engage the core muscles, front ribs together, and then we'll float that leg up. See if you can have the toes pointing down to the floor. Naturally, the toes will want to drift out to the side wall. So keeping the glutes and the thigh fired up. We'll extend the opposite arm if that's possible, but leading with the thumb. Chin slightly tucked into the chest. We have energy from the front middle finger to the heel of the lifted leg. Front ribs are together. Spine kind of in line with the shoulder blades, so there's no collapsing into the shoulder. So think how we hold our body in a plank. Keep going curling up to the ribs, and let's take elbow to knee. See if we go really slowly so that we're engaging all the muscles that it takes to find a gliding, controlled movement. We'll flex the spine, empty the lungs, and then we'll breathe in to re-extend. Sometimes also we overlook these relatively simple exercises and complicate things. We're actually going back to basics and doing it really well, really mindfully. You're using all the muscles in the body, you're concentrating, you're using the power of the out breath, core engagement to draw in, and a deep breath in to extend, sticking with this, nearly there. Go right to the end of that out breath, deep breath in, and then let's lower the knee. You tuck the toes under, we'll take a knee lunge. If you step your right foot forwards, we'll hold the back, roll the shoulders back and down, and we'll just gently lunge forwards and then press back. Maybe the front leg straightens, so lift. If that's fine, we'll lift the arms, deep breath in here, breathing out, shoulders back and down, thumbs up to the ceiling, so wide open across the chest. Two more, breath in, breathing out, chest open. Breathing in and into the hamstrings. Let's take hold of this right knee and circle the hip. The foot doesn't need to stay on the floor, just let we're drawing a line around the outline of the foot, and let's take it the other way. Feel a nice mobility in the ankle, knee, hip. And then we'll go to that knee lunge on the other side. So let's switch legs. If you know straight away, you're fine lifting the arms, we breathe in and lift, we breathe out and fold. Otherwise, supporting the back and maybe making a smaller movement, maybe holding the knee and then sending the hips back. Last 2 or 3, deep breath in, wide open across the chest. Last one. We're going to take a roll up through the spine, do a little bit of work standing up, and then we'll be back to the floor. So when you're ready, hands to the floor, step back. We'll come up via a down dog, but we'll right away pedal it through from one foot to the other, feet walking towards the hands, still with the knees soft, ragdoll fold, head last to come up, rebuild from the base of the spine, slowly coming on up, and the top, roll your shoulders back and down. Let's just have a swipe around the spine with the arms. So let's just use the best bits of the sun salutation. Let's think about standing into Tadasana, tailbone down to the floor, shoulders back and down. Let's think about how we use the upper body and the core. Let's take a breath in and stretch overhead. And as we breathe out, we'll reverse swan dive, flat back, engage the legs, the core. Hold the legs, bow the head. When you can't fold any further, bend the knees so the chest is on the thighs. From there, release the ankles, arms out in front, press into the feet, and come back up to standing and release the arms down. Take a breath in, reach overhead. Breathe out, swan dive, folding, stretch from the side walls, hands down the backs of the legs, bow the head. When you can go no further, then bend the knees so the chest and thighs come together. Release the ankles, drive the arms forwards, leading with the thumbs. Press the imprint of the feet into the floor, all the way up and release the arms down. Twice more, breathing in to reach. Breathing out, swan dive, fold, hold the backs of the legs, run the hands down the backs of the legs, pull gently on the ankles, and then bend the knees. Sitting a bit lower, driving through the thumbs, press into the floor, and then lower the arms last time. Breathe in and stretch. Breathe out and fold. Hands down the backs of the legs. Hold the calf muscles or the ankles. Gently draw yourself in. Then chest and thighs. Arms parallel in front of the body. Pause to really feel the outline of the feet. Press energetically into the floor, lifting overhead and release the arms down. We're changing a little bit. We'll add on a lunge. Take a deep breath in and stretch overhead. Breathe out and fold. Hold the backs of the legs, crown of the head to the floor. Bend the knees so the chest and thighs are together. Keep the spine long, this time driving through the thumbs again. Pause in the chair pose. We've zipped up your front ribs, your belly, shoulders down, stretching into the fingertips. Sitting low as if we're in a chair. Come into a prayer twist, hands together. We go over to the left, maybe the forearms stack. Maybe we can take the weight into the left foot and the right knee might come into the chest. Maybe the right leg can step back to a lunge. Feel the twist. Maybe look up to the ceiling. We need to return to our chair. Weight into the front foot. Lightly step forwards and release the arms. Big breath overhead. Breathe out and fold. Hands down the backs of the legs. Gently pull on the ankles, then bend the knees. Coming up to chair pose. Utkatasana, leading with the thumbs to the ceiling. Front ribs together. Belly in. Pull away from the waistband. Take that prayer twist to the other side. Shoulders down. See if you can keep the front knees level. From here, maybe the weight stays in the right foot. We lift the left knee towards the chest. Maybe it steps back to a lunge. Maybe we take the prayer twist a little bit deeper and we look up at the ceiling. Pause. Weight into the front foot to step forwards. Release the arms, a deep breath in. Hands reach and return. Hopefully a little bit warmer. Let's shake out the legs. Still thinking about warming up the body and getting moving. We'll take the wood chopper. So feet wider than shoulder distance, toes forwards. Take a bend in the knees and straighten. Make sure the knees are happy with this movement. We stack your left fist on top of the right. Slowly, first take a deep breath in and lift. As we breathe out, like you're chopping wood, the knees bend, we drive the hands through the legs. And then up again. Breathe in, breathe out. In, so you'll find your rhythm. Let the head go, or let the head follow the curves of the spine. So the head, or the neck, flows down at the same rate as the spine. Breath in and out. Twice more with this stack of the fists. Take it at a pace you feel in control of. Pause. Change the cross, the stacking of the fists. Breathe in and out. So we find that we end up driving movement through the top fist. And we're as if helping to plunge the breath out of the body with that out breath as we fold. Of course, if you've got any niggles in your back, you'll make this a much gentler movement and we flow down. If this is quite energizing, we feel more like the fists are tennis balls in a pair of tights, a little bit of momentum. Fold and stand. Last 2 times. Wonderful. Lower the arms. Let's think about rotating the spine. So we can take a Ganesh hold, link the fingertips around the opposite hand fingertips. Nice soft in the knees, and we take a twist side to side. So a fire breath, if you're familiar and comfortable with it, that out breath as you twist, out, out. And there's a kind of momentum that comes into the breath where you don't need to actively breathe in. Naturally, after that, empty of the lungs will draw air in. 3 more. Change the cross in the fingers. Take it side to side. So jaws relaxed, shoulders down, knees slightly soft, just working those muscles of the waist and getting the heart rate up. So we flex and extended the spine. Here rotating now, let's all keep the energy upwards, go side to side, lateral flexion spine. So legs a little bit wide, a little bit of a turn out in the feet. Steeple top fingers, index fingers up to the ceiling. And we breathe out, up to breathe in, breathe out. So rather than go too far and collapse forwards, let's go directly side to side. Every time we come up, let's feel we're a little bit taller. So think about carving a line through the air. Out breath, in, out breath. If it's too much for the arms, we can hold the opposite elbow with the forearms slightly in front of the forehead. Let's keep that long line. So as if we're standing against the wall, the back of the head, the back of the pelvis, in that same vertical plane. Last few rounds. Bang, grip the floor with the feet. Squeeze your glutes to keep the legs very active here, rather than collapsing. Last time each side. Wonderful. Let's take a bend into the knees, hold the thighs, and we'll take a twist. So shoulder towards the opposite knee, and then twist. Twice more your pace. You don't have to go at the same pace. Feel that nice inner thigh stretch. Rotation for the spine. All right, turn heel the feet in. We're back to the floor, but let's just shake out the legs while we're in this standing position. We'll take one roll down and we'll meet sitting on our bottom. So chin to chest. We're already got one Pilates roll down here, so let's add a little bit of a zigzag movement. Knees can be soft, head heavy. And once the hands find the floor, let's come to sit. So knees out in front of you. So let's think about how we can engage all the muscles around the spine, front and back of the body, so the whole trunk is engaged. Feet hip distance apart, shoulders back and down. Now, if we start to lean backwards, 2 things might happen. We might just start to feel those deep core muscles engaged, or we might collapse. Let's try to only lean back as far as we can go with a long spine, long neck. So think about your front ribs together, navel to spine. From this position, can we feel all the muscles in the front of the body engaged and the back supported? So there's a little bit of engagement between the shoulder blades. Length along the lower spine to avoid that collapse, the bulge, C-curve in the lower spine. A little bit of work into the lats to help draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Now from this position, if we tap the middle fingers in front of the body here, and then take a diagonal movement without losing that length in the spine. It's arm overhead, driving back through the thumb, and then come to the center, tap, and the other side. So shoulders down. And we can regulate how much we work. If this is simple, we'll lean further, but I really feel the shaking in my voice. So we can regulate how much effort goes in, but let's just make it really mindful so that we're trying to engage the muscles on the front and back of the body. So it's a whole trunk engagement. When the arm goes overhead, we're still leading with the thumb. So palms are towards each other and then taking that diagonal stretch. For the next few, now the body knows what to expect. Engaging the core. Let's see if we can pause with the arm overhead. Feel that diagonal stretch. So just testing the endurance stamina of those core muscles before tapping the fingers together and taking it to the other side. We're pausing. See if you can lengthen the spine a little bit more. Chin's tucked slightly into the chest so the neck is long. Tapping. If you need to come out at any point, that's fine, but we've got 3 more rounds. So make sure you're comfortable, long spine, feel the engagement front and back of the body. Reaching overhead. So here, we're using the Pilates breath. If we don't need to support the spine, we go into the happy breath where we're breathing into the belly. Here, the spine needs all the support it can get. So we need to think about channeling the breath into the back of the body so we maintain this engagement between the ribs, navel to spine. You're nearly there. So we are adding a little bit of strain to the back. This is a lot of weight, particularly with the head back of center. We're adding a lot of load onto the spine, but as long as it's nothing like pain, and be fussy about that it's just muscular effort. Let's have the last set, and then we'll take a full body stretch. Or you can carry on for another while. The rest of us take a full body stretch. So once you're ready, let's roll back on the spine. You might want to rock on the spine with the knees in first of all, but then take a big stretch. Arms overhead, stretch out those abdominal muscles, and then let's roll onto our sides. So neutral spine will be the bottom tucked, pubic bone up to the ribs. Let's float the top leg up, squeeze the glutes to help keep that bottom tucked, and we'll circle the top leg. See if we can isolate the movement to that top leg. There's 1, there's 2, circle, don't have to be exactly in time with me. And 3, 4, and 5. Let's change the direction. So the leg goes behind the body. Support the upper body with this top hand, or make it more difficult and place your hand overhead anywhere where you're not placing weight into the hand. Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed, just 5 here. Last one. Let's leave the top knee on the floor, flex the bottom foot, toes pointing forwards, the ankles flex, and lift high. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, last set, and lift. You can press in, make the inner thigh work harder. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. We'll flip on to the other side. We'll go for leg circles, then onto the inner thigh. So setting up, bottom tuck, neutral spine. And when you're ready, top leg. Doesn't matter which direction, we'll take 5 in each direction. Circle, engage. Try to keep the shoulders, still the top shoulder stacked over the lower. So using those stabilizers in your core, the scapular stabilization to keep the shoulders in place. Going slowly enough that we can adjust engagement, the distribution of weight in the upper body to avoid that counterbalance movement. And then let's take it in the other direction. Feel well. We're nearly there. Wonderful. Inner thigh, rest that top knee down, pat out the hip, it's a bit tight. Bottom leg, toes pointing forwards. Really add a bit of weight for the inner thigh work if you wish, and press up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a break if you need one, otherwise we're straight on. And let's go, last set 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brilliant. Onto your back, hug the knees into the chest. Figure 4 stretch for those glutes. Right ankle on the left thigh. Externally rotate this right leg. You can get hold of the inner thigh and turn it. Externally rotate, turning the inner thigh forwards. Once you have a nice opening in the hip, either we stay here with a little sway, otherwise threading the hands through and drawing that left thigh towards the chest. Now, when we take this, it's very tempting just to draw the thighs in towards the chest and press the spine into the floor. Let's try and maintain a neutral spine. So there's a slight idea of sticking your bottom out. So there's a minor, tiny curve in the lower spine, and then start to draw the thighs in. So this will go much deeper, focused work into the hips. Try to relax the shoulders down, chin tucked into the chest. If you've not quite found that sweet spot, a little tilt over to the left will sometimes just identify a nice spot in this right hip. The right hand can help open the thigh, gently pushing on the inside of the knee. 2 more breaths here, and then we'll take it across the other side. As far as possible, the leg, the under leg, you just want it to be floppy and heavy, no engagement required there. So all the work is really being done by my left hand. It creates a prop for the left leg. Let's release out the legs, little windscreen wiper, sway and set up on the other side. Left ankle and the right thigh. Open, turn that inner thigh up to the ceiling, or to your face rather. External rotation for the left hip, and then we can add on a thread through, drawing in. And again, just being aware, it's fine to imprint the spine, there's nothing wrong with it, but just be aware that that then takes away from the work into the hips. And it's just pelvis awareness, which is always a good thing to have. So one elbow can help open the thigh, hold the hand on the inside of the knee. We try to make the other arm do all the work so the legs can relax into the stretch. Any little bit of a sway side to side can be helpful. Last breath or 2 here. And then gently release the legs. Let's take those windscreen wiper legs, dropping the knees from one side to the other. Adding on that lower spine twist by pressing the knees towards the floor and slightly lifting the hip on one side. Over to the other side. So internally rotating this top leg, lifting the hip, arms open wide, last time each side. Big stretch for the side walls, shoulder blades flat to the floor. Last sway of the knees, and then we'll come into the chest and we'll all meet sitting up. So knees into the chest, either roll into a fetal position on the side or forwards and backwards along the spine if you know that's good for your spine. And let's come up to sitting. Any comfortable upright position. And let's take a deep breath in, stretching overhead. Drop the right hand down your back and a tricep stretch. Breathing deeply, walking the fingers down your spine, trying to relax those thighs down if you're cross-legged. And soften the breath. Same arm across the body, hook your arm underneath and lightly pull. And then let's drop the head in the opposite direction. So shoulder down, jaw soft. Reaching into the fingers and lightly pulling to create space in the shoulder. Soften the jaw so we're not overstretching the neck. Gently sway to soothe the body, and then we'll take the tricep stretch to the other side, stretch overhead. Deep breath in, drop the left fingers down the back, walk them along the spine, guiding the elbow up to the ceiling. Shoulders down, Head leaning back into the forearms to deepen the stretch. Pause. Soften through the thighs. Same arm across the body. Hold, hook from underneath. Draw out, but pull back. Create space and drop the head in the opposite direction. Soft jaw. And breathe. 2 more breaths here. Slowly release. Roll the shoulders a few times. Maybe circle the head just to ease out the neck. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Well done. And thank you for joining me.